Hey everybody, it's Shaman Sister Sin, and you're listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by BetterHelp.com and LittleShaman.org. That's me, Little Shaman. Today I wanted to talk to you about a very commonly held belief, which is not necessarily a myth, but it is very misleading. Before we do that, though, there are a few things that I would like to let you know. I've decided to try a new app for live audio content called Wisdom, and I'd like to invite you to try it with me. I will be hosting a 30-minute live Q&A on Wisdom on Wednesday, December 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'd love to see you there. As of right now, the app is apparently only available for Apple devices, but it says that's going to be changing soon. If you already have the app, you can just follow the Little Shaman, and then you'll be notified when the live show begins. I've tried to do live audio shows in the past, but none of the programs I ever used had an interface that I liked very much at all. This one seems better, which means live content could definitely become a regular thing. I'd really like to do that. I've been wanting to do that, and hopefully you all will like it as well. I really want to reach out to the community more. There are so many people dealing with these situations and such a limited amount of resources. Yes, we have the podcast. Yes, I have books in the works. And yes, I take appointments one-on-one, but not everyone can always do an appointment. And though the books and the podcast have a huge amount of information, they're not one-on-one. A live show would fill some of that gap. So I'd really love to find a solution to that, and I hope that I have. Speaking of books, there are two that should be available on the Amazon Kindle store by the end of the year. One is called Transrelational Healing, and the other is the first of a 4-volume set, Navigating Narcissism Essentials. The first volume is called Ego Trauma, so keep an eye out for those. See you on Wednesday, December 8th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Wisdom app. If you'd like, leave your suggestions below for other live content, other different types of live show we can do, and we will see what happens. And now that that's out of the way, as I was saying, today I'd like to talk to you about something that is a very commonly held belief. It's not exactly a myth, but it is very misleading. Many people believe that the biggest stumbling block for narcissistic people is that they cannot see or will not admit the problem. That's definitely a huge stumbling block. You cannot change what you will not acknowledge. However, that's only part of the problem. The majority of narcissistic people are not stupid, and sometimes they do see the truth or they will admit it, but nothing changes. Worse, if having a disorder or these kinds of challenges becomes part of their narrative, then it can become something that you need to do something about, not them. No matter what, they still do not take any responsibility. The idea that narcissists will absolutely never admit they have done anything wrong or that there's anything wrong with them is not exactly a myth, but it's misleading. Yes, the majority of narcissistic personalities in the majority of situations will deny until the bitter end, no matter what. However, there are times when many, or even most, will admit it, if the shame or the pain they will face for denying it is greater than the shame or the pain they will face for admitting it. For example, they might. If there's more to be gained by admitting than denying, they might, etc. So this is not a myth, but it's definitely not the hard and fast rule many people believe it to be. This unfortunate perception causes many people to believe there's been a breakthrough when this happens, or that this person is perhaps not a narcissist. Neither one of these things is necessarily true, unfortunately. Narcissistic personalities can and will say anything to get what they want, including saying this. They may even mean it at the time, but with such an unstable personality, nothing ever comes of it. The problems are just too big. Regardless of whether narcissistic people deny everything or admit it all, the result is the same. Nothing changes. There's an old saying, even a cannibal can recite the Apostles' Creed. That means anybody can say anything. Consistently owned, improved behavior, continuous conscious effort to do better is the only way to be sure, and waiting around for proof of that can be very dangerous. I hope this clears a few things up for you. As always, I'll look forward to your comments, questions, and suggestions, so please keep those coming. I take appointments online, over the phone, via text, via messenger, via email, and through Skype worldwide. So if you're interested in speaking with me one-on-one, you can visit littleshaman.org to do that. I teach clinics, seminars, workshops, and more throughout the year. So if you're interested in seeing what we're running right now, you can visit littleshaman.org to do that as well. You've been listening to the Meditations and More podcast, brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, Little Shaman. May the Great Spirit bless you. Have a beautiful day.